Hi guys, welcome to the Sunday Fufu podcast. We are back again. Today I've got my co-host back, finally. Well, actually, no, the episode we recorded before this one does not capture what you were up to
exactly
before. So,
I was a little indisposed, guys,
cool,
you know?
That's cool.
Life happens.
Yeah, so life happens. Unfortunately, my co-host was not with me last time because, he was...
Indisposed.
What was the word again?
I was physically incapacitated.
Okay, care to elaborate?
Yes, I couldn't move.
On a Friday night, actually.
I couldn't move. It wasn't safe to drive. You know, it would have been unsafe for me to drive to the studio.
Oh, okay. You couldn't move, and
it would have been unsafe for me to drive. Yeah, because I would have been impaired.
Okay,
significantly impaired.
Make of that what you want, guys. But yeah, Charlie, welcome to another episode. Thank you so much for working with us so far. This is a Sunday Fufu podcast by the Gold Coast Report. My name is Donald. I'm here with Zogba, my co-host, and today we have a dope-ass guest with us, the one and only Mr. Olele Salvador.
Shalom.
Yes.
Peace.
What's your thing? Deep throat what?
Hey, Charlie.
No, I'm just trying to... It's a genuine question. Deep throat, it's deep throat.
DTS is okay.
Actually, what's the
deep
story
throat sauce, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. What does that mean? what does that mean?
Charlie, what's the story behind deep throat sauce?
I genuinely don't know what I have created, honestly, because you know when Kendrick Lamar came to Ghana last year?
Yeah.
Somewhere in June or July, I think.
I remember.
Yeah. So there was a tip-off that he was in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
And people were not too sure. So I'm like, okay.
I remember you broke that story because like people were texting me because I'm a Kendrick fan. Kendrick is in Ghana, and I was like, okay,
yeah, because
Kendrick
this was
too.
I'm not really much, but I'm more of a J. Cole fan.
Oh, okay.
So I think we were in a space, we were in a space, the
Yeah.
listening space where we talked about anticipating Kendrick's album.
Yeah.
You know, but none of us knew. In fact, none of us thought that he would come to Ghana.
Nope.
So myself, when I was like, huh? But then he kind of like sparked this curiosity to just go look after the story, like just go find if indeed it's true.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I just found my way. I can't really recall what I did, but I just called someone who would know this, and it was a she. Okay. So she told me what was happening, and indeed shared some classified
Details.
information with me.
Right.
So, and I've always wanted to use deep throat sauce. Because of the Watergate scandal, those if anybody has done communication journalism, they know that story very well.
Okay.
That was the only time that deep throat source term was used because.
Like, if you don't mind, can you like briefly just give us an idea
of what it is? Yeah. For people who don't know.
So it's like one of the. I don't intend it's a political show, but it was one of the biggest corrupt cases or events in the US, right? And there was this particular guy who was given a particular FBI agent some information that nobody could tell.
Right.
At any time he stood before, whether it was a judge, stood before other people, he kept referring to that guy as a deep throat source.
Oh,
you get it? And that was what led to the revelations and the exposure of some. So, for example, if right now in this current government there are some deeply, like what Manasseh Dems and Anas Dems are using, right? Whoever is giving these guys tip-offs are known as deep throat sources.
So snitches, basically.
Snitches, basically.
Like proper snitches, yeah.
Exactly. But in a professional way.
Okay.
Coming from a community. And I understand, because if someone outside my industry wrote an ignorant thing about somebody I revere, I would feel a particular way.
Yeah.
But I won't go and attack the person. I'd rather say, hey, you know what? This guy is actually a big deal in our space.
Yeah.
Like recently, Lukaku and Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
If you see the followers of Megan Thee Stallion who don't know Lukaku, you should see the kind of things I write about Lukaku. You can't blame them because that's not their industry, right? So in that case, what do? You educate. But in my case, which is why I say Ghanaians are not ready for things like that.
Yeah.
It is straight attack.
Yeah.
It's
vitriol.
School.
Yeah, it's vitriol.
Oh, bro, it's crazy. And Shatawale fans in the air.
Let's not even start with them.
Bro,
I don't tweet about Shatawale anymore.
Yo, but this Shatta thing, man, like the number of people in the media that are really staying clear off of him.
No, bro, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
People have threatened me. People have told me that they don't want to see me anywhere close to their events because they could hurt me. Wow. And I'm believing this because Kobiche has suffered that before. Kobiche got slapped by a Shatta fan.
Whoa.
Oh yes, it's a story that is.
I always find stuff like that weird, right?
So
'Cause,
I don't want to even risk it.
Why are people being aggressive towards people in the media? I find that so weird because like it's your job, right? It's like I'm serving you a burger.
Yeah.
I don't like the burger, so I'm gonna slap you.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
That's your job.
So
It's
much
your job
so
to
that
serve you a
when
burger, man.
Shatta actually does something great, and this is why I said that I wouldn't do it, not because Shatta did something and I'm bashing or something. Now, even when Shatta does something great, and I talk about it and I tweet about it, maybe he hit a particular milestone, or maybe he does something great for himself, and I tweet about it, these same people still come and say it's fake.
Yeah.
They come and say, look, oh, you're trying to get on our good side, bro.
Yeah.
If Shatta
you can't
misbehaves,
win.
I'll write about
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
If he does well, I'll write about it. And that's the only thing, unfortunately, the Stoneboy fans have come to see about me. When Stoneboy misbehaves, I talk about it. I was like, bro, I don't think you should be doing that. And when he does well too, so now the Shatta fans will come and say, oh, you see that I give you energy. And I'm like, bro, you guys confuse me a lot. Because in truth, they said they'll fold your panel, NAP. Like, the guy is doing great things. I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
When he does something that I know wouldn't, or I think shouldn't be done, I talk about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you guys haven't moved away from that. You see, Shatta is like a god to these people, right? Like you cannot. It's like
the Bay High fans.
and they're the Lumba fans.
Okay.
That Lumba cannot do wrong.
Yeah.
Look,
Wait,
it's crazy.
Was he the one who? Well, there was a story where he went, like he was agreed to perform at a gig, and then when he went, he saw the audience. He initially thought it was going to be a small audience.
Yeah.
When he saw that it was a huge audience, he was like, "Whoa, this is a huge audience. I wasn't expecting this. Okay, let's renegotiate.
Let's renegotiate. Yeah.
Right
Money,
at the venue."
Yeah. All these things you hear about the
And they
Lumba,
thought he was joking.
No,
but then he was serious.
left.
Like, yo, let's. Yeah, and
Yeah,
he
he left.
didn't perform, right?
Yeah, he left.
That's crazy.
He left.
That is crazy.
And
so
even with that, his stance said he's right because that Lumba is an icon. Yes, we get it, but some
Charlie,
of these
they are
characters you
contracted.
cannot.
They signed a contract.
you
It
get-
was
there are
an
some things
agreement.
that you definitely
Yeah.
need to
Yeah,
call
like-
out.
Bro, so much so that now I can't even do Ronaldo and Messi agenda.
Oh, Charlie.
It'd be crazy, oh. Like I can't do like during the World Cup when I was trying to do some agenda, bro.
Then they move to you.
Stick to your
Stick to you.
Oh, bro.
Charlie.
Stick to what you know.
Stick to what
Stick to what you know.
Stick to what you know.
I used to play Olele game because I was a footballer.
Yeah.
I was catching in school.
Wait, actually, Olele is not your actual
Olele is
name.
not my actual. Olele is just my alias. It's not.
Just so you don't know.
Salvador.
Salvador is also my alias.
Oh,
My name is
right.
Emmanuel Kwame Sapon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
okay.
in school, because I was catching in school,
okay.
I was a goalkeeper
Olele.
in school. They call me
Hey, Charlie.
Olele. So that's. So if you come
They
and tell me
catch-
that what do I know about football? Bro, I could have been playing for the Black Stars.
no crowd, no
Yeah,
crowd.
I was
Yeah,
playing for the
just
Black
decided
Stars.
to go
It was
into
my father who
journalism.
told me that if I want to go and play football, I should consider myself out of the family.
Oh shit.
Oh yes,
Bro, you know what? This conversation, we need to have that conversation,
I'm telling you.
Charlie. The number of guys that wanted to, I don't, not
Football.
necessarily. Yeah, football is like the most
sports,
popular one.
sports, yeah.
But like,
Go to,
do
like,
something.
yeah.
And their parents were like, Charlie, if
Bro,
you do
in
this
an
thing,
African
you're
home,
out.
you are either a doctor, a lawyer, or disappointment. These three things. You're either a lawyer, a doctor, or disappointment.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
My
man,
dad
that's-
was an ex-military man. He wanted his son to be a doctor. So I remember when he used to go for peacekeeping missions in Lebanon, Sierra Leone, and them places. When he's coming back, you bring me science books. You know, I saw
Gas
gas. I saw
dentist.
gas very early before I even got to the stage where I found
Oh,
no gas.
Charlie.
Because my father wanted his first
Not
son.
very subtle.
Yeah.
it was
Not very
Charlie, I
subtle with
won't
it.
play ball. He's like, Charlie, I didn't play ball. Hey, I didn't catch you.
You didn't catch,
hey,
bro.
Like cattle, like bro.
But you know what would be funny? Like, you know how even within the sport, like, goalkeeping is looked down on.
Yeah.
So you said if they come, you know, we strike
Bro.
goal. You know they come strike goal.
And you know,
Some
yes.
bones.
Oh yes, chop time. That's why I never did that Chimpe game.
But you know, say
You
you said
never
that
did Chimpe.
you release a serious key that game. You say what Sulia for beatings.
Sulia
Charlie,
for beatings. Bruh.
That'd be wild though. Like
Yeah.
they give you Sulia and all
Never
them
played
boys.
that.
Bruh.
You know what? I was trying to hide. I was trying.
Well, you never played it either,
I've
right?
never played it
You
either.
never played it.
Oh,
You know, so,
wow.
So as
Literally
you talk,
never
I was
played
like,
that.
shit, I'm not going to expose myself. Because
Never
Charlie,
played that.
Celia for beatings is actually I don't know if they still
no,
play
it makes
this
sense.
thing.
It
Yeah.
definitely it's definitely sometimes
Wait,
no boys
so
will play.
what was the like premise? Every time somebody like
Nutmegged you.
nutmegged you with a ball, you would get
You know
beat?
something? I think I've seen like it's being played. Like
Yeah.
the ball did a middle.
Bro, it's
the boys will come,
absolutely-
and I think you keep one leg up.
No,
Or-
you have to make sure that whatever happens, you don't get.
So your leg be open.
Yes, and you don't actually use the conventional football like a
Alright.
Chilensa or maybe this case 5 or no. We actually use paper balls
Oh,
because
shit.
you know it's not fully round.
Right.
So when you hit it, the possibility of it taking a detour
Yeah.
is very high.
Right.
Right,
So
right.
you may think that you have closed your legs
Properly.
and it will still.
So actually, when they're able to get you is when you make a move to try and not make someone else
Exactly.
or get the ball,
And get the
then
ball.
they get
Because
opportunities to
playing
not make you.
football.
Yeah, we
You
all
get
get
it? So,
play,
but if I have the ball, the goal is to nutmeg you so that you get beat.
That's it.
And
That's a
you
wild
have to
game,
run.
man.
So, if, for example, if it is this wall
Yeah.
that you have to touch to avoid getting beaten, right? And maybe I'm playing on this side.
If I run, how you
to
go
this
catch
wall,
it, you know?
that be where the adrenaline day. Because bro, by the time
Charlie.
you take off, somebody's
Bro.
meeting from this side.
Of course.
Another person's meeting from this side.
Of course.
You done God.
Charlie. Boy,
I
We
never
even
heard
used,
that,
we
but
even used mango seeds.
Oh shit.
Really?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Use mango seed, you know, the hard
Yeah.
one.
Hard one, yeah.
Dry, hard. That's what we're using too sometimes.
Sounds like-
You know, and sometimes grief could not even be someone you've lost, like literally, right?
Yeah,
It could
yeah.
be
It's
even a
not just
heartbreak.
loss. Yeah, it's just
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
And a woman will think that, okay, my way of getting out of it is finding a rebound. You know, so they offload that responsibility onto someone whilst they use the compassion and the, oh, it's okay, it's gonna be fine, to sort themselves out. You know, that is for them. Men, we rarely do that. You know, it's either you find some FIFA, we will play FIFA from morning to evening, we'll go drink,
So-
you know, do something.
Okay, so I mean, Zogba, I don't know what you think, but like maybe what he's pointing out is that women are sort of socialized to confront the grief, whereas men are socialized to engage in things that will distract them
From grief.
the grief.
The buffer you just spoke, that's it.
When you
brain,
have a
yeah,
very
so-
bad heartbreak, like when you think about it, and I'll ask both of you this: when you think about like really bad heartbreak, soon after, every time you thought about your partner, your heart would race.
Your hearts,
they race.
bro.
Do you get
Sometimes
what
you
I
even
mean?
think yourself. You feel they go somewhere, you see the person.
Exactly.
You have not said hi.
Or you hear
your
some
heart
song
will
where you hear or hear, it's like that's the thing. So your heart's like there's a physiological reaction. Like you start to sweat. You know what I mean?
You're
Like
shaking.
you actually have a physiological reaction. So it's not just like that, so somebody crying actually is like a valid
Bro.
way
No,
to like.
but guys, you think, you know, I mean, now we're having more of these conversations, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think we're ready, like as men, as society? Is society ready to embrace a world where
Men are
men, like,
crying.
men are
okay
crying,
for
men
men to
are
cry.
okay, men are connecting more.
I don't think society.
First of all, like us, how do you think we're ready?
I don't think we need to be ready. It's not about being ready.
Okay, what
It's
do you
about,
think it's about?
It's about being comfortable in the fact that
Yeah.
I can break down
Yeah.
and express how I feel.
The reason why I say being ready is because we have been socialized over time in a certain way.
Yes.
So obviously there is some form of unlearning.
You know,
that has to happen.
this may sound a bit, maybe it may sound a bit off tangent, but it's like asking me if society is ready to kick out racism.
I understand.
Because
No, I
there-
understand
because
the point
there
you're
have
trying
been,
to
there
make.
have been a lot of, you know, attempts.
Yeah, what
to-
you're saying is society doesn't have to be comfortable with it.
Exactly.
What
But
you're
we
saying
still
is that
need to be
yes,
put
we
in-
need to
put in
push
their-
the
put in their
envelope whether
faces.
or not society is ready for
Okay,
it because
That's
like,
what I
it
mean.
needs
I
to
see where
happen.
you're
You
coming
get
from.
what I'm
Yes,
saying?
I understand
Yeah.
that point. What I want to add, or what I want to say about whether or not like the whole society being ready thing is, I think that it is not one of the biggest drawbacks. I guess one of the biggest blowbacks I can see coming from that is that men shouldn't be weak. So rather than whether or not society are ready for men to cry, I think the better question is society ready to accept that crying isn't weakness?
Right.
That's what we need to accept. That being vulnerable is not weakness. Being vulnerable is actually strength. First of all, I always say ask why somebody is doing something. Because like bringing it back to grief, people deal with grief very differently. Like if somebody is going through grief and they become really short-tempered, you can't say, why are you being short-tempered?
Yeah.
You have to understand that the person is that's how the person is dealing with their grief. They should deal with their grief and not be short-tempered later on. But while they are dealing with their grief, clearly if they are being short-tempered, I would think that as an empathetic person, you would be understanding.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
if you were, however you deal with your grief, like me, when I'm going, like when I have a situation of grief, one of the things I really like to do is isolate for a period of time. I will do whatever I need to do during my period of isolation. I'll watch YouTube, I'll drink, I will play video games, all of that stuff for that period of time, because I understand that I need to process what has just happened to me. So yes, distraction is necessary, but also self-reflection. So I need that time of isolation to understand what this is going to mean for me.
It took me a while to identify them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it took, and
Makes
that's,
sense,
and I think that's one of the challenges with us men, because everybody's our friend. Everybody's our
The
friend.
boys all
You don't
day,
even know
yeah.
you don't even know their names, but Charlie, so far as you call them,
You don't know, be cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
friends.
You don't know, be
You
cool.
know,
Yeah.
and that's one of the risky things I've noticed about even social media as men. You know, because of the access and the availability of community,
Right.
sometimes we end up telling the wrong people
Right.
what we are
Yeah,
going
it's
through.
true. That's a good point. Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So even me, I've had to be very careful. Because once upon a time, I didn't used to thread about pop culture. I used to thread about my heartbreaks.
Right.
You know, the Olele they knew was the Olele who would wake up at 12 a.m. and thread his heartbreaks.
Wait, you said you know drop some story about your car something.
Exactly,
something.
the Lagon,
was
right?
it a heartbreak?
It
was
was
a
a
heartbreak story,
heartbreak.
right?
It was a heartbreak
Yeah,
story.
I read the Kaiwa.
I was taking a girl out.
You
She was
tried,
excited.
that like 2 days.
Bruh.
Wait, well, I don't know. I don't know
Oh,
the
so,
story.
but where have you been?
Bro, I was like, hey man.
That's hilarious.
I was
My-
toasting this girl. Charlie. I've gone far. I've gone through all the stages of auditions, made it to the semis. All I had to do was just take this girl out for a dinner date. Something that she wanted.
Okay.
Okay, because I remember I was even running late and she was giving me pressure.
Yeah.
You get me? So I pulled up with my car and my girl thought I pulled up in some G-Wagon or something. But the car I pulled up in, Charlie, it is now a chassis Bravo car. You get me? You know, I'm now starting life car.
Yeah.
The girl
Charlie.
came down, dressed and everything. She saw my car and she said she has a headache.
Oh,
She said she
wait,
had a
relax.
headache. My nigga, what?
She said she get, everybody
wait,
was,
she dress come.
she dressed Gidon.
Descend.
Oh, bro. Like I said, I had just kickstarted my career. Sort of,
yeah.
You know, I was doing so many things. I started as a photographer. Photography wasn't really paying. This was when they bought pixels and capture from a barack from capture and all those were doing their thing. I was just trying to, you know, I was also working in church at the time, you know, doing a few things here and there. So I knew I was starting something small. I wanted to grow. So I was always honest with what I did. You know, I actually showed myself to that, hey, this is who I am. So if you're going to really work with me or walk with me, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You know, so the heartbreak came from the fact that I have shown you.
Yeah, I've shown
know.
you.
So what is it about me did you use to your advantage
Right.
that you thought the car wasn't good enough to continue?
Yeah, bro, that's wild, man.
You get it?
No, honestly, I can
So that
understand
means
that.
now,
Yeah.
because men can also feel used. I just want to say men actually feel used sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not only
It's
women.
true.
Like, you can be there for someone.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the opposite sex.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's a girl she's got a heartbreak. You're there for her, talking for you. There's no mutual interest whatsoever. Like, there's no ulterior motive whatsoever. You're just being there for her. And by the time you are done and you think, oh, she's come back on her feet, they just throw you somewhere. And they go back to the same community that broke their hearts.
That hurts them.
It's different from being a third person. I'm saying that you are there. You are in the
Yeah.
picture. You are a friend. You know, oh, I'm going through this. Oh, and you have the antidote to make them feel better, right? And then when you give the best of you to them, they go back to the same place, telling you that, Charlie, you just wasted all of that.
Charlie.
Like, first of all, you both make really good points, right? With regards to the trauma bonding thing, for me, it's like a variable reinforcement thing. So variable reinforcement is like the hardest kind of like association to go extinct, because it happens so at such random times, right? So like if reinforcement is consistent, let's say somebody does something nice for you every time you do something nice for them, you know to expect that. So when you do something nice for them and they don't do something nice for you twice or thrice, you can be like, okay, maybe this person isn't going to do something nice. But if you don't know when they are going to do it, you just keep doing the nice thing, hoping that at some point they will decide to do something nice for you. That is what kind of trauma bonding is, because it's like they do so many bad things and then at some random time they'll do something nice for you, and like so you don't know when the
When
nice
to
thing is going
expect-
to come.
yeah.
So like,
So you're in it
why
for
will
it.
you stop?
Yeah.
Like it's hard for you to figure out when to stop. That
you may be lucky in the sense to find a bad bitch who does all the shit you like.
Yeah.
You know, and also goes to church. Woo. At that point in time, your confidence is already sold to her.
Yeah.
Because when she does something, you can't talk about it.
Is it because you like
you fear that you're not going to find another one like that who will do the
like,
things you like?
is she out of your league or like you?
There's that.
Okay.
There's that.
Or
where
sometimes it's just Charlie.
no. Sometimes
You found exactly what you were looking
sometimes
for.
it's a matter of being out of the league. You know,
Okay.
because if you look at yourself, you look at that, you're like, no, it's a Charlie. You are not deserving of that. You know. So when she is quote unquote misbehaving, you cannot say, no, Charlie, what you're doing. You know, you are even afraid to say it because you are afraid that when you say
Charlie.
it, she's going to tell you, no one remember me. I mean, do you know guys who are calling me and I'm looking to entertain this thing? You this small thing than you are, bruh. That is trauma bonding because you know that what she's doing, and that is how. You see, this is maybe Zuba can find a word from. This is the kind of effect we've created, right? That makes the guy someone else in another relationship.
Right. What is this? Is like you basically carry your trauma into the next relationship.
Because now someone that you wanted to. So there are people in relationships that when you told us like I wasn't like that before.
Yeah.
They know that they were not like that before, but series of these experiences have made them. They couldn't either find a resolution to the trauma bonding. So they had to use other people to escape. And using that people to escape, they made it worse.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Do you get what I'm saying? That is where...
what is an unhealthy coping mechanism.
Exactly.
Thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Usually, before we wrap up, I just want to find out, do is fufu your thing? Do you eat fufu?
Yes, I do. Okay. I love my fufu.
Okay.
My
fufu.
Chicken soup and...
Light soup or...
Light soup.
Okay,
Yeah.
just like me. I also like chicken
like
soup as well.
towel.
Oh, weird, man.
Oh, you like the towel?
Oh, I love the towel
Jesus
too.
Christ.
Yeah, chicken.
I don't understand. I don't
Groundnut soup
understand
is a
where
shit.
that is
I don't know
from.
why people like light soup, man.
Nah.
Wait, the towel is the inside, right?
Nah.
Is the towel the inside? Like the intestines inside?
No, that's the yemwadie. Yes,
So
that's
what's
yemwadie. Towel is like...
It just looks like
it's
a
like
fucking towel.
it looks like a towel.
Oh, I've seen that.
It looks like a towel.
Yeah.
It's very soft.
Charlie, you know what? Normally I don't judge people, but sometimes I come up with some parties, and there was this particular girl like,
No, bro.
yeah, like dancing song. I don't want to say at the Siam, but like at the Siam sometimes.
When she did chop towel.
Tell me with the order. This person order okay, but palm nut soup, then this chicken, goat. Okay, cool. The next person order this. Let me to order about chicken. The next one, but yeah, please, you have towel. I was like, no, I turned my head. I said,
What's up?
Charlie, what was
No, I didn't see you.
my back.
Wait, hold on.
What are you going?
Maybe she likes towel.
Oh, I know. Clearly, she likes towel. Clearly, obviously.
Maybe
Clearly, she like towel.
Yeah.
Bro,
My God.
I was scared from that show. Bro. Like, they were the watch him. I was like, nah, there's no way this girl ordered towel.
Towel?
Yes,
Did she eat it?
she chop him. And the whole time I'm just looking at her like, hey, Charlie, you really did
God
that
damn
thing.
it.
Wow.
Okay, so my like guilty pleasure is Koto J.
Koto J. Koto J with
Yeah,
palm nut soup. Yeah.
Be honest about it.
Koto J with a benkwine,
What's
solid.
that? And it's funny, you're calling me a DB.
Oh, I know.
No, but like, do you like it?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Why?
Honestly, I don't really they like meat
Because it's
like
like
that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
like they like
Fish
meat
too?
like
Okay,
that.
okay.
I
Are you
they
a
chop
fish?
chicken and fish. Finish. Like
Oh, wow.
pork, self. It took me a while to even get into pork.
Oh,
like,
okay.
but even that one, self, I don't really they chop am
You
like
chop am
that.
like
They chop-
that.
If I go
hard.
where I get her, I'll go
Cool.
chop.
But who
I
you
know the
first?
set.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I mean now
Yeah.
I guess I have.
You've
I'm
learned
okay
to tolerate
with
it.
Exactly.
Yes, I'm okay
because
with it, yeah.
anybody who got introduced, like Zoba is saying, to Fufu
No, but-
from childhood, there was a presentation. You see, the thing is
okay.
a presentation. That's why when people go to the chop bar and they buy Fufu, the first thing that they do is to take a picture of the presentation. The presentation is what starts the
Yeah,
whatever your taste
it's
buds
true.
go.
You
Taste
know,
buds
it's an
go.
experience. It's
Exactly.
an experience. Yeah,
It's not just the food.
It's
oh.
not just the
It's-
food they
it's,
can
it's
do.
what
Yes.
it comes with.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
The flavor, like food flavor, is more nasal, like your nose than it is your mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's why when you have a blocked nose, it's hard for you to taste your food.
Exactly.
This guy, he get head. I really tired. This guy, he get head fucking. Like, see, Zoba, Charlie.
When I was a